Hello everyone, welcome to City Skylines Unmodded live gameplay episode 2. In the previous episode, we started building a city from scratch and got it to about 1200 people. Now in today's episode, we'll keep expanding the city further. We've got to build a lot more zones, so that's what we can get started with right away. So let's add some residential here. We've got some electric issues, but that's fine. That will be fixed in a bit. The next thing which I want to do is add a school. That's where we ended up at the end of the previous episode. So that's the first thing which I'll do right away. So what have we got here? I think we need to put an elementary school. And what's this? It's a community school. Okay, so an elementary school would be nice for this neighborhood. I think this is a good location for it because it's accessible for a major part of our first neighborhood right over here. The capacity, I think, just give me a second. So the capacity is 200 folks. Oh, eligibility, I mean, is 200 folks. And the capacity is 300. So I think that's at a very good level. At some point, we'll also need to have educated workers for our factories. So it's good to start thinking about it right away. So yeah, that's done. I think the next thing that we can do is probably start thinking about how we are going to plan our next set of expansions. We do have one tile available which we can buy. I do want to finish this block here, but I think I can hold off on that for now. And oh, we've got this upgrade. Nice. That's the next milestone. So we've got more than 1300 people and the next one is at 2400. Nice. And with this, we've got a lot of new things, especially things related with parks and all these pathways and ferry lines. And yeah, we've got a lot of new things, canals, fences. So I think this is a good time to add a park, maybe, because parks are unlocked and it would be nice to start upgrading our residential and all our zones. So this small playground might be a good fit for something like this. Or maybe we can have a look at this small park. Oh no, I think that's too big. That's too big. Okay, you know what? Let's look at something else. Yeah, here. Basketball court. This might be nice, actually. Let's see how that fits in. I think it fits really well, but it is, I think, slightly more expensive to build than, or actually way more expensive to build than this one. So I'll stick with this for now, and it covers up a good amount of zone around itself. So I think it is a good idea to go with this for now. And this will surely help upgrade all the residential and commercial blocks around it. Okay, so I think this is probably a good time to start expanding our city further. So I'll make this into a time lapse and keep explaining as I make my decisions. Alright guys, so I zoned the rest of the avenue with commercial, and now I'm replicating the residential from the left to the right. And one more thing which I added was this one row of residential. I cannot extend it all the way, but I'm just zoning that much area. And now I'm pretty much just doing the same thing which I did on the left side. I did want to make sure that I was just adding things as needed instead of adding everything right away. And I extended the avenue all the way up further and zoned the rest of it into commercial. Along with that, added some industrial as well and upgraded this main road into an avenue. And lastly, there was some more residential demand, so I added 2 more rows and made sure that I have the roads to quickly support further expansion. Okay, one thing here, let me check how much money I'm making. I think it's good. Yeah, we're making almost double. So that's good. I think one of the things I was thinking was maybe we can expand or upgrade this section of the road because it's used quite extensively, and that would help upgrade the buildings around it as well. So it would be nice to kind of make this into a proper two-way concrete or asphalt road, really. So yeah, that's what we'll do right away over here. And yeah, that's looking good, so we can move on to other things in life. So I think I'll continue expanding this area into residential now, and then this area into a little bit of industrial. And look at that, we have these industries getting built up right away, which is nice. I mean, look at that. Look at all these industries getting built up and polluting the environment. All right, guys. So this is done for now, I think. And now we can probably start thinking about some more expansions in terms of buying the land, or maybe not buying right now. We have a lot of space here. And I think one of the things that I mentioned earlier was I probably want to make this part as a forest industry. But I think we have a lot of industry or forest in this part of the map. So probably we can think about expanding or buying that piece of land and then making that into an industry. So I think for now, I will just continue expanding this set of industry further, and that should be good enough for now. The other idea is maybe we can, if we buy this piece of land, I think we have some farming areas over there, and we can also expand our existing residential blocks, which would be nice. But I don't know if that's long-term thinking. So I would probably hold off on that for now as well. One of the other things that is concerning me right now is that we probably will need more space for commercial because this much area is not enough. So I'm thinking maybe we can make a dedicated commercial park, which is just an area with a lot of commercial buildings, kind of like a mall campus. So I'm thinking this part of the city might be a good candidate for that expansion, especially considering the proximity to the industrial area and as well as the residential area, really. So trucks can come in easily, goods can come in, and people can come in as well. So that's something that we can do right away, actually. So for this, I'll start with some basic street layout, and I'm taking references from the other blocks from industrial and residential zones. And oh, seems like we have some power issues, eh? All right, let's see what the actually before this, let's see what the budget is. So I think we are good in terms of water. Let's make it 100 for now. And yeah, so our budget is good in terms of power. So I think we'll probably need to add a new power plant. So I'm just going to stick with this, the coal power plant that we had before. And yeah, I think so now that would have been into an overcapacity state. Yep, there we go. So let's reduce the budget for this once again. I think probably 80 or 70 should be good. Oh, that's probably too low. Okay, so I think 85. Yeah, that's a good level for now. Alright guys, so now that we had some more residential demand, I zoned these two blocks as well. And now coming back to this, I finished my commercial park layout over here by making sure that everything is aligned with everything else. And here, instead of zoning in rows, I pretty much ended up doing something a little bit different with these two concentric set of streets. And in the middle, I was thinking that maybe in the future, I'll add a park. So with the foundation ready, I continued to zone a little bit more industrial in this area and then moved on to zone a little bit more residential in this area. Oh, we've already got this. Nice. So we are upgraded to the next milestone, which is Boomtown. The next one probably, the next one is a busy town at 5,000 people. So this one is at 2,400. We are at 2,482, which is nice. A lot of new things unlocked with this. Some new kinds of roads or specializations. We've got highways, which is good. And we've got a couple of new facilities now. I think a lot of these are belonging to DLCs, like, for example, the small warehouse and fish factory and things like that. And yeah, these ones, okay, so cemetery is one of the things that we'll probably need to add right away because that, like, we'll start having death waves essentially. So we don't want that to happen, but I think I can hold off on that for now and wait for a couple of minutes and see what happens. So I think the next, actually we've got some water issues right over here. All right, let's see what the deal with that is. I think, yeah, we've got up to 100% over here. So I probably need to add a new water source. So for that, I'll just continue using the tank and I'll just add one more over here connected with the piping network and we are good to go. One problem I see with this is that it's too close to our zones, so we'll probably need to move them later in the future, but I think it's fine for now. Alright, so I continued zoning a little bit more industrial and then moved on to continue developing the park, or adding the park rather, in a commercial park really. So this park actually fits perfectly in this, and then I continued to add our services in this one. So starting with the piping layout, I added that to this zone. And one of the things I was hoping to get by this point was a high density commercial block, but that is something we did not have. So I continued with low density and I figured there was some problems in terms of having enough blocks of zoning in this area. So I essentially had to extend the layout by one block for this, which I did very easily. And then I continued to add electric service in this area, which was done. And I just finished it off with proper piping. So one of the things which I wanted to do was to review our budgeting and our services. In that, for example, let's say we don't really need that much for our parks at this point. So does with our special monuments, we don't really have any. But considering the population that we have, we don't really need that much budget allocated to it. In terms of education, I'm not entirely sure. I think we are probably good because the capacity is almost at what we need. So that's fine. I think police and fire, let's see how we are doing in that regard. So with jail availability, we can't really introduce the budget for this because that will create problems. In terms of fire, let me just check how we're doing with that. So we've got one fire station for now, and that's kind of like struggling to cover up our entire city. So at some point we'll need to add one more. So I believe it is fine for now. We'll just keep the budget as is for this one as well. And with that, I think we are good with our budget. So that's good. And look at this. This is a new commercial park that is being developed, which is nice. So one of the things which I was looking at was this specific avenue. There's a lot of traffic backing up here. Don't really need that street. I think we probably need to review what kind of junction we have here. So that is something I'm going to do right now. I think, yeah, we've got a light. So I'm going to make this into a stop sign. It's not completely realistic, but it serves a purpose right over here right now. And I'll leave this light as is. I think here we don't really need a light. We'll make it into a two-way stop. So yeah, I think that's about it in terms of this avenue. So we have a lot of residential demand. So I'm just going to zone these two blocks with residential. And while those are developing, we'll just quickly check. Oh, we have some worker issues here. I think that will be fixed because this is a new area. So it's just a matter of time. Why do we have garbage issues here when we have a recycling center right over here? We'll need to probably review this once again. I'll leave it as is for now and circle back to it later on. So these worker issues are getting fixed. I think that's, like I mentioned, just a matter of time. At this point, we should probably start thinking about upgrading some of these roads. I think we have a good amount of money. Probably we can start with making these into industrial roads because that will make our trucks a little bit more efficient and faster and might also help in upgrading the industries. So that's good. I think that reduces a lot of backing up of these trucks, and these roads are actually quite cheap to maintain, so that's good. This, by the way, comes with the industrial DLC. Oh, we've got our first dead person waiting for transport, so this is a good time to build our first cemetery. Now, obviously, the very first question that comes with that is where exactly do we put this? I don't really like putting it too close to population, but since we are limited with space, we'll probably have to do something like that. Don't really want to put it in any of these zones. I think maybe this. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to put it next to the main road as well because at some point we'll upgrade that. And the problem with this cemetery is that once it is put in place, it cannot be moved until it is empty. Which means putting it somewhere like here, for example, is a bad idea because if we need to upgrade this intersection, we'll need that space empty. And yeah, so these are the challenges with cemetery. I don't really want to put it in commercial or industrial because I want it to be in a peaceful place. And I think this area might be good for that. I mean, it's not exactly peaceful. There's still a lot of traffic there, but at least it's near a residential zone. And at some point when we upgrade this into a crematorium, we can just place it right next to it, and that will help us quickly empty that cemetery. So yeah, I think that is looking good. I mean, I could have put it in one of the edges of the residential areas, but I still want it to be accessible by everyone. So that is another challenge. But yeah, with that, let's think about upgrading some of our roads as well. I think there is some traffic not exactly backing up, but yeah, it's slowing down over here. So we can probably upgrade this, maybe not into a highway just yet, but at least a proper road instead of a dirt road really. So yeah, I think let's do this with a dirt road and then upgrade it into a proper road. So I'm going to, you know what, we don't really need this section for now. Let's remove that and then let's add this. That is looking good. I am going to upgrade this part of the road and maybe demolish this. We need a connector over here like so, and then maybe add the proper road to this one like so. And now let's upgrade this part into a 2-lane highway as well, so we have that connection. Oh, you know what? That might be a problem actually, because traffic might back up at this point. So maybe instead of a 2-lane highway, we can put it into a 3-lane highway. And then instead of having this into 4-lane road, let's make it into a 6-lane road up till maybe halfway point so that we have some space for traffic to merge in. And yeah, I think that is looking good. So in terms of the roads, I think we are doing good. We don't really have that many traffic problems. Let's see how this is performing. I think it is going well. I think it is going as expected. We have a traffic light here, so traffic is stopping. and then it's going away. So for now, it's good. I think in the future, we might have some traffic backing up problems in this part of the road, especially. But we'll look at that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. And I got that proverb right this time. So yeah, that is pretty much it. We have got our next milestone at 5,000 people. So that is something we'll try to achieve in the next episode. And another thing which I want to do is develop this commercial park a little bit further and see what that looks like. One of the other things is I'd like to add a dedicated park. And I'm not sure where exactly I'm looking for this, but yeah, a dedicated park area would be nice to have. And I think maybe somewhere close to the lake might make more sense for this. We already have a lot of greens there. So I don't know how much space we'll need for that 5,000, but maybe we'll make that into a park if we have enough space. If you don't have enough space, we'll probably add some more residential blocks and at least make a park in the periphery of the lake. But one thing which I want to do for sure is to get out of this grid layout and make it a little bit more organic and natural. So that's something that we can target for the next episode. But yeah, with that, I'll end this episode right over here. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, a goodbye.